A 20-year-old student was brutally assaulted near Navi Mumbai College after being attacked by another classmate and 3 others over the issue of using Marathi language on their WhatsApp group. The injured student, Suraj Pawar, has filed an FIR against Faizan Naik and others for hitting him with a hockey stick on Tuesday morning after an argument on the WhatsApp group. Pawar had stated in Marathi that there is a wedding in their family and so all are invited. However, Naik took objection to the wedding invitation written in Marathi, after which this escalated to a deadly assault. Listen in to the reactions coming in.
वाशी पोलीस स्टेशनमध्ये त्या संबंधाने गुन्हा दाखल आहे. शेअर नंबर 406/2025. त्यामध्ये व्हॉट्सअप ग्रुपवरून चॅटिंगवर रिप्लायवरून आणि त्याच्यामध्ये कॉमेंट्सवरून 2 युकामध्ये वाद झाला. त्याच्यामध्ये जो फिर्यादी आहे त्याला हॉकी स्टिकने मारहाण करण्यात आलेली आहे. त्यासंबंधी आम्ही सविस्तर गुन्हा दाखल करून आम्ही तपास करत आहोत. यामधील आरोपीला आम्ही कायदेशीर नोटीस देण्यात आलेली आहे आणि पुढील तपास आम्ही करत आहोत. त्याच्यामध्ये आम्ही भारतीय न्याय संहिता कलम 118(1), 115(2), 352, 351(2), 3(5) भारतीय न्याय संहितेप्रमाणे आम्ही गुन्हा दाखल केलेला आहे.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Maldivian President Mohamed Muizzu held wide-ranging talks in Malé, marking a reset in India-Maldives relations. Both leaders reviewed the full spectrum of bilateral cooperation and reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening ties. During their meeting, the leaders focused on enhancing cooperation across key sectors including trade, defense, infrastructure and climate action.
A friend back in India's fort. A victory for New Delhi's steadfast diplomacy. No more icy standoffs, only hugs and smiles. Prime Minister Modi's landmark visit to Maldives, the first under President Mohamed Muizzu, brings major reset in ties with a crucial ally in the Indian Ocean, after a diplomatic row threatened to bring down this relationship a year ago. The Prime Minister, on a 2-day visit to Maldives, was received personally by the Maldivian President, a gesture of goodwill, and was warmly welcomed by a sea of colourful Indian diaspora. Prime Minister Modi was also accorded a ceremonial welcome at capital Malé, as well as a 21-gun salute, a drastic shift from exchanging barbs just a year ago. This visit was more than just photo ops and symbolism. New Delhi and Maldives inked key deals, with India extending a line of credit to Maldives of Rs 4,850 crores, inaugurating crucial India-backed development projects, handing over 72 vehicles, as well as launching negotiations for the India-Maldives Free Trade Agreement.
For us, it is always फ्रेंडशिप फर्स्ट. आपसी निवेश को गति देने के लिए हम शीघ्र ही बायलैटरल इन्वेस्टमेंट ट्रीटी फाइनलाइज करने की दिशा में काम करेंगे. फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट पर भी बातचीत शुरू हो गई है. अब हमारा लक्ष्य है फ्रॉम पेपर वर्क टू प्रॉस्पेरिटी.
I'm also pleased to announce the initiation of negotiations for a free trade agreement between India and the Maldives. This landmark initiative marks a significant step forward in strengthening our economic partnership.
Just 18 months ago, President Muizzu campaigned on an India Out platform, echoing his predecessor Abdullah Yameen, insisting that all Indian military personnel, even in civilian clothing, leave the Maldives by May 10th. India complied, replacing its presence with technical staff just in time. Junior Maldivian ministers also made derogatory remarks about Prime Minister Modi, sparking a boycott Maldives trend across Indian social media. However, due to New Delhi's firm diplomatic strategies, ties eventually took a positive turn, with President Muizzu even visiting New Delhi last year. where the two sides agreed on a shared vision for a comprehensive economic and maritime security partnership.
Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Malé, in Maldives, and he's going to be the special chief guest at the 60th Independence Day celebrations of this island country.
Maldivian President Mohamed Muizzu also congratulated Prime Minister Narendra Modi as he became the second longest serving Premier of India in consecutive terms. While addressing the gathering at the banquet hosted in the honor of PM Modi in Malé, Muizzu said that this remarkable milestone is a testament to his unwavering commitment to public service. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has surpassed former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi on Friday to become the second longest serving PM of India in consecutive terms. Take a look at the reaction.
Excellency, first of all, let me convey my heartiest congratulations to Your Excellency on becoming the second longest serving Prime Minister of India today. This remarkable milestone, 4,078 consecutive days in office, is a testament to your unwavering commitment to public service and dedication to the progress and prosperity of the Indian people.
Now, the Congress party has launched a double attack on Prime Minister Narendra Modi, with both Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge making scathing remarks. Rahul Gandhi compared his own caste background to PM Modi's, saying he fights for OBCs despite being an upper caste individual. He also jokingly referred to PM Modi as a bubble that will soon burst. Mallikarjun Kharge claimed that PM Modi changed his caste after becoming the chief minister, implying that he misrepresented his background for political gains. The BJP, however, has criticized Rahul Gandhi's remarks, accusing him of disrespecting the office of the Prime Minister. However, the Congress targeted and the war of words continue over this. Take a look at the reactions.
नरेंद्र मोदी कोई बड़ी प्रॉब्लम नहीं, वो नहीं, मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, ये आपने अपने सिर पे चढ़ा रखा है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं। ये जो मीडिया वाले हैं इन्होंने बना रखा है, इसका गुब्बारा बनाया, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं। अब पहले तो मैं मिला नहीं था, अब 2-3 बार मैं मिल भी लिया हूं, बात समझ गया हूं मैं, कुछ नहीं उसमें। शो पूरा शो है, दम नहीं है, बता रहा हूं। आप लोग मिले नहीं हो, मैं मिला हूं, बैठा हूं कमरे में।
अरे राहुल गांधी का साथ दो आदमी, जो आदमी अपर कास्ट का होके अगर बैकवर्ड को साथ देता है, उनके वजह से गालियां खाता है, शेड्यूल कास्ट के लोगों को सपोर्ट करता है, दीन दलितों को सपोर्ट करता है, तो उसका साथ नहीं देंगे तो किसका देंगे? अब बैकवर्ड तो खुद ही मोदी साहब बोलते हैं। जब वो पहले अपर कास्ट में थे, लेकिन बाद में जब वो चीफ मिनिस्टर बने, अपना नाम उन्होंने, अपने कम्युनिटी का नाम उन्होंने बैकवर्ड लिस्ट में डलवा लिया। किसी को पता ही नहीं चला, हम लोगों को भी पता चला जब वो एमपी बने और प्राइम मिनिस्टर बने।
तालकटोरा स्टेडियम में राहुल गांधी जी द्वारा आदतन फितरतन जैसे बोला जाता है, उसी प्रकार की जो बातें बोली गई, उसके ऊपर हम स्पष्ट करना चाहते हैं। 4 पीढ़ियों तक भारत के पिछड़े वर्ग की आकांक्षाओं का हनन करने वाले, उसका दमन करने वाले कांग्रेस के इस प्रथम परिवार के सदस्य राहुल गांधी जी आज एक मुखौटा लगाकर अपनी चुनाव में हुई हार की खिसियाहट निकालना चाह रहे हैं। और यह निश्चित रूप से कांग्रेस से पूछना चाहिए। 2014 मई में जब कांग्रेस की सरकार गई, कितने ओबीसी मिनिस्टर थे, कितने ओबीसी मंत्री थे, बताएं। मेरा दावा है कि वो 4 भी नहीं बता सकते, क्योंकि 4 भी नहीं थे।
Now, the Election Commission in Bihar has announced that 99.8% of voters in the state have been covered under the ongoing Special Intensive Revision exercise. According to the Chief Electoral Officer, forms of more than 7.23 crore voters have been received and digitized. Their names will be published on August 1. The remaining forms and reports from booth-level officers are also expected to be completed by that date. However, politics over the issue refuses to die down. Take a look at this report.
सदन की कार्रवाई सोमवार तक के लिए स्थगित की जाए।
अमर सिंह जी, आप लोग वरिष्ठ लोग।
Forms are in, the furor is on. The Bihar SIR showdown refusing to die down, even as the poll panel announced curtains on the exercise on Friday. The Election Commission has stated that at the culmination of the special intensive revision of electoral rolls, 7.23 crore enumeration forms have been collected across the state, which means that 99.8% electors have been covered under the SIR. After the exercise, the EC has found 65.2 lakh electors' names will be excluded from the voters' list, which include 22 lakh dead voters, 35 lakh voters who have permanently shifted out of Bihar, 7 lakh voters who were found to be enrolled at more than one place. The poll panel added that 1.2 lakh forms were yet to be submitted after the deadline expired. The opposition parties that have been protesting against the exercise from Patna to Parliament continued their protest. India Bloc MPs on Friday tore the symbolic SIR sheets outside Parliament and raised the demand for discussions inside the House, which led to repeated adjournments.
डर के मारे आज ये रिवाइज करने की जो कोशिश कर रहे हैं, ये बहुत बुरी बात है। इससे देश का भी नुकसान होता है और लोकतंत्र का नुकसान होता है और संविधान के तहत ये लोग नहीं चल रहे, वो अपने हुकूमत को बचाने के लिए बहुत से चीजें कर रहे हैं।
The government side hit back, saying that the opposition doubts EC as they keep losing elections.
SIR जो है ये पहले भी हुआ है और राहुल गांधी जो लेटर लिखा था महाराष्ट्र का इलेक्शन के बाद, उसके बाद SIR शुरू हुआ है और इनको जब हारते हैं सबके ऊपर डाउट आता है, EVM पे डाउट आता है, इलेक्शन कमीशन पे डाउट आता है।
Government sources say that there can be no discussion on the SIR in Parliament as it's being conducted by the EC and the government cannot speak for it. In Patna, the RJD and Congress MLAs protested outside the assembly in black clothes.
विरोध करेंगे, बिहार के जनता का सवाल है, गरीबों का सवाल है, गरीबों का नाम कट रहा है सबको। जो बाहर गया है 4 करोड़ लोग, उसको क्या होगा? उसको तो वोटर आई कार्ड नहीं मिलेगा, वोट से वंचित हो जाएगा। पहले जवाब तो देना चाहिए सरकार को, राज्य सरकार का जिम्मेदारी नहीं बनता है।
The Bihar Assembly over the last few days has seen heated exchanges between the ruling coalition and the opposition alliance. And RJD leader Tejasvi Yadav has already hinted at the boycott of the polls slated to be held in a couple of months.
जो वोटर है ही नहीं जीवित, जो वोटर परमानेंटली देश छोड़ के चला गया, वो काहे के लिए वोटर रहेगा? जो 2 जगह वोटर है, जो देश का नागरिक नहीं है, तो इसमें कौन आपको उनको, वो चाहते हैं कि उनको एक तरफा खेलने के लिए दिया जाए, ऐसा नहीं होता है।
The issue of SIR has seen acrimonious exchanges between the poll panel and the opposition.
I want to send a message to Election Commission. Yes, sir. If you think you're going to get away with this, if your officers think you're going to get away with this, you're mistaken. You're not going to get away with it because we are going to come for you.
The Election Commission retorted to the charge, calling it an unwarranted threatening statement by Rahul Gandhi. The poll panel has maintained that the SIR exercise is constitutional and necessary for a pure voter list. And why must dead and shifted voters be kept in the list? Now all eyes will be on the Supreme Court that will hear the challenge to the revision exercise on July 28th. In the last hearing, the top court had advised the Commission to consider taking Aadhaar, voter ID and ration card as eligible documents. The Election Commission is slated to publish the final electoral rolls on August 1st.
Slipping into a very short break, but don't go anywhere. Right after the break, we'll tell you what's happening between Cambodia and Thailand.
This is the area that we are looking at. These are the areas where the fighting has in fact been taking place, and Thailand says it has in fact intensified. Now the Thai-Cambodia standoff centers on a territorial dispute over the Preah Vihear temple, a UNESCO World Heritage Site claimed by both nations since the 1962 International Court of Justice ruling favored Cambodia. The 11th century Preah Vihear temple, along with nearby smaller temples like Ta Muan and Ta Krabe, some of which you see on your screens, fuels the conflict because of their cultural and historical significance to both nations. Now, recent clashes involved rocket attacks from Cambodia hitting Thai civilian areas, prompting Thai military retaliation targeting Cambodian military outposts. Both countries face intense domestic political pressure, with nationalist sentiments fueling demands for a hardline stance, complicating de-escalation efforts. Now, Thailand's military has shown restraint, limiting strikes to military targets, but its superior firepower could dominate if the conflict escalates. Cambodia's weaker military risks significant losses, potentially destabilizing its government if Thailand fully engages. Now, ASEAN and international mediators are pushing for dialogue, but both governments fear losing face by appearing to concede sovereignty. Analysts do predict a gradual de-escalation as both sides seek to avoid full-scale war while addressing domestic audiences.